Okay guys, here's the 2019 Samsung Q70R series 65-inch TV. It's in my bedroom right now, so there's another TV behind it that we're fixing to replace. But I wanted to get a video out showing you the physical, layout of the TV, the remote, which I've also shown in some of my other videos, and we'll turn it on and kind of go through some menus and just kind of show you the experience. Pretty standard, 16 by 9, I think, TV, but you can see very thin bezel on the top and the sides. Here's your feet. So just like it looks on the Amazon picture, it's the same. In the middle, under the Samsung logo, there is if I get my phone to do what I want. Okay, there is the touch pad in case you can't use the remote or whatnot for whatever reason. So that's there. The other foot. And the other side of the bezel. Very clean, all black, sleek, smooth finish on the front. The back is really hard to see, but in my other video, you see it in full light. It's got kind of a ribbed texture with vase mounts, and your inputs are on the right side of the TV facing from the front. So what we're going to do now is take our remote. Now I don't have all the voice commands memorized yet, but it does have Bixby voice assistant built into the remote. You hold down the button and the little light or speaker picks up your audio. So the TV defaults to some type of Samsung internet channel. Let me sit down here. Okay, so if we push the home button on the remote, it takes us to the this bar on the lower third of the screen, and depending on what you're watching, right? Turn that off. Then it might look a little bit different. But the bottom toolbar is consistent. You can change the apps to your liking. The only one I couldn't find on here was PlayStation View. We use PlayStation View, so if you do have that, I don't think this TV supports that natively at this time. I could be wrong, and if I am, please correct me. But you have Samsung TV Plus, which is their internet channel service, kind of like the LG TVs. They have a similar system where it lets you watch some stuff without having a cable subscription. Netflix, Prime, Hulu, Google Play, HBO. I haven't really reconfigured this too much, so this is how it should look the first time you turn it on. Smart things, you can see here I've already paired this with the app on my phone. It was an easy process. So then you can use a remote control functionality through your phone. And if you have other devices in your house, we have the Samsung Robot Vac as well. And we're going to be adding a fridge here soon. Those will both be on here. And of course, an internet browser. I've already tested Netflix, Prime, YouTube. Everything works as it should. It's really hard because I don't think my phone's recording at 4K, if it even can. But the picture, on a 4K Netflix stream really looks spectacular. Bright brights, black blacks. I mean, I'd consider putting this up against a 2018, OLED TV. I don't have hands-on experience with the any 2019 OLEDs. I'm not gonna claim that I do, but very very crisp vibrant colors. You can, of course, adjust a lot of this stuff. We'll go back into the menus here in a second. But you can see on the volume and the channel keys, you gonna focus for me? You push it up and down, and you can also push it in for mute and return. So it's pretty easy. If you pick this up in the dark, you can find your way around this remote pretty easy. So you can turn up the volume. It gets really loud.
Few places on Earth have enough food to support so many big cats.
So it's really not a bad bass response either at decent volumes. Okay, you just push the volume button and it mutes. So let's go back here, push the home button. Let's look at this menu a little bit. That icon is the universal guide. So if you guys haven't seen similar functionality before, it basically puts a lot of different app streams kind of on one screen. You can kind of search across different services to find what you want. That's the idea, anyway. So ambient mode, which I've not set this up yet, but the idea is you open up ambient mode and you can set different pictures, different wallpapers, if you will, so that if your TV is hanging on the wall, it can actually look more like a piece of artwork rather than just a big black rectangle if you're not using it. There's some examples that it scrolls through. You can have it match your wallpaper. You can add clocks and weather streams onto it. It's pretty neat. I might do a separate video on that, but it's a very neat feature to draw you to this product. I'm just hitting back here. So if we go back to home, and I'm just going left on the circular control here, ambient mode, apps, search, you can change your source. There's a lot of, inputs, of course, on the back for HDMIs. And so that's, change your source. That's pretty self-explanatory. Notification settings. So it's got a built-in e-manual. Intelligent mode is a service that kind of customizes some of these settings depending on what the TV thinks you need to have it set at. If it's a 4K stream, it might adjust it a little bit versus say an SD signal. There's an ambient light sensor somewhere on this TV, probably on the bottom. It takes ambient light into account if you set it to do so. So picture setup, you can do your backlight, brightness, contrast, color, tint, kind of all your normal selections. Picture mode, it cycles through dynamic, standard, natural, and movie, which of course you can customize each one of those. Sound mode, standard, and what was going here? And amplify. Amplify is it uses its own kind of proprietary algorithms to change the equalizer based on what you're watching. TV speaker, right? I don't have a receiver set up to this right now, so it's only going to output through the speaker. But of course, like most other TVs, you could change it if you didn't want to use your receiver. Game mode, you can turn this on if it detects a game console, and what that does is it lowers the input lag, basically, and adjusts some of the color picture balance more for games. Closed captioning, sleep timer, Wi-Fi setup. The Wi-Fi was easy. We have dual channel router in my house, the 2.4 and the 5 gig bands. of Wi-Fi, and it found them just fine. We also use a mesh Wi-Fi, so this works fine with the mesh system. So I believe it would work fine with a singular kind of more standard router also. Color tone adjustment, cool and standard. Now on any of these, if you're sitting on one, well, I guess the ones with the up arrow, you can hit up on the remote and it can kind of branch off into its own little menu. So they did a pretty good job kind of organizing this so it doesn't look so generic and kind of like a, you know, computer BIOS screen almost, where it's just layers after layers and it takes up the whole screen. This thing's got really good audio processing, Dolby Digital, so you know, your PCM or your Dolby Digital output formats you can choose from, and TV Device Manager. So I don't have it scans. Whoa, okay. TV Device Manager, so it scans your CPU usage, RAM, and storage, right? So if for some odd reason, I guess you think your TV might be lagging, you know, if you install every app that's available, and, you know, it's a diagnostic tool to let you see what's going on. Memory boost, clean now. Well, let's clean now. Why not? So we are sitting at 80 or 81% RAM. Cleaned. So, but I haven't noticed any lag at all. So I haven't really had to use this much. So if we go back into our settings here. Okay, we got through TV Device Manager. Okay, notifications. There are no notifications, so that must be if there's a software update or something, you know. There was another menu I wanted to show you guys. I need to figure out where that was. The picture quality on whatever channel this is right now doesn't look very good because it's an internet stream and it's less than standard definition. So this TV's trying its darndest to upscale what's already a crappy image, and I'm focusing on the menu, so I know that doesn't look very good. We'll go into apps. I'll show you this apps menu. So apps, it's sorted by different categories. You can also do a search. It's got a pretty decent selection, all the ones you would expect, except for, well, I guess it doesn't have Sling either. I haven't seen Sling or PlayStation View be available. I've seen DirecTV Now. We got HBO Go. A bunch of things I haven't even seen before, to be honest with you. Oh, it does have Sling. I was wrong. Okay. It doesn't have PlayStation View. So I'd have to use a Chromecast or something like that. YouTube TV. So it's got a lot of stuff, you know. If you're a family with high media consumption, there's definitely options for you on this TV. So back to the remote here for a second. You can go directly to your ambient mode with that button right there, and this is also a favorites button. So if I push the favorites button on the TV, it has a menu of, you know, 1 through 9, 0. I haven't set any of that up, but it says say the channel number while holding onto the button. So there's a lot of different ways you can save favorites, shortcuts, and tune the voice functionality to make this work for you. Like I said, I'm going to do another video probably that covers the SmartThings app and some of the other kind of secondary things. But the TV looks nice. It's well built. I haven't noticed any dead pixels. It communicates with everything fine. The remotes that came with the battery seem to be, you know, strong. The remote hasn't died in the couple days I've had this. The remote's, like I said, again, pretty simple. Has your hotkeys to, you know, the most popular what's going on here? The most popular media services. And it's just a really nice design. There is in the menus here somewhere, there's settings and whatnot up there. You can get customized Samsung support help. You can reset the TV. You can view the e-manual like we saw. You can update the TV software or firmware. So it's got all the functionality of, you know, some of my other several-year-old TVs. And it's got, of course, a lot of new things that you don't find everywhere. All right, guys, it's going to wrap it up for this video. 5-star props all around to Samsung for this 2019 line. What else can I say? I'm going to have another probably 1 or 2 videos about some of these other features that I wasn't able to cover in depth on this one. TV's about 2.5 inches wide at the base, I think is what I measured. I know you guys probably can't see that, but I'll put the actual dimensions up too. So thanks, guys.